solution. Your teenager left the front door unlocked, didn't know you had Amazon packages delivered to the front porch, or somebody left the toaster oven on overnight. Who knows who did that? I don't know. You take things out of the toaster oven stays on indefinitely. That could be a problem for safety. Christmas tree lights left on, holiday lights left on overnight. Sometimes those tiny little lights have a heat element to it. The LEDs are better because they're cooler, but you just want to be sure. So you want lights turned off, if possible. For convenience, we want the television to go off, but we're right in the middle of a recipe, our hands are wet, and we can't find the remote anyway because our kids hide the remote in the couch or something. You can tell I'm kind of speaking from experience on some of these. But I really want to add stuff to the grocery list, and I don't want to just drop what I'm doing because I thought of something to add to the grocery list and run and find where I, keep my list, whether it's on my phone or a piece of paper or whatever. Or if you're standing in front of the refrigerator, that's usually when I need to add stuff to the grocery list, in front of the refrigerator or the pantry, and you're like, we ran out of that thing. Or just as you're using the last piece of bread, that's the time to add something. And of course, cost savings. Sharing the grocery list with the husband, if he's the one who does the shopping, or if he wants to add things and I'm doing the shopping. Leaving the heat on all day, on the thermostat can be kind of costly. So there are solutions. These are just some examples. These are solutions. And, as you're listening, you might think of some other things that you use your robots for. And you can kind of share those with us as well. But, what are some solutions to leaving the deep freezer on open overnight? Well, there's a company called Wyze. Hopefully you can see that, WYZE. They make a product called Wyze Sense, and pretty easy to plug and play. It's just two little connectors, just like if you have a security system and the connector opens, then you get an alert. And there is a way for you to set these types of things up so that if that connection remains open for a period of time, you're going to continue to get that alert, or you can program it so that you get an alert only if that thing is open for more than 5 minutes or something like that, so that you don't get annoying alerts all the time, depending on how often your husband goes into the deep freezer. There is a product called MyQ for garage doors now. So if you're thinking about switching out your garage door opener, not the fob, not the remote, but the opener, try to consider a MyQ. Those are available on Amazon as well, easy to order, and you can install them or have someone put it in for you, pretty easy. And that way, if you accidentally leave the garage door open, you don't have to wait until your neighbor comes and knocks on the door and tells you, I don't think you meant to leave your garage door open until 11:30 at night. We have great neighbors, so that's good, but we don't want to rely on the neighbors. We want to be able to know if things like that are happening around our house. Same thing with the door locks. I don't know how you feel about automated door locks. I'm not quite there yet. I'm security minded. There are other things that you can do to make sure that the wrong people are not in your house, but smart locks, I'm not quite there yet. So I don't want you to think I'm advocating any one of these. These are just things you can do if you want to automate your life. But a lot of people do like smart locks, and I'll tell you how they come into play in real estate as well. But an August door lock, there are a lot of companies making door locks now. Wyze is also making door locks, and they're pretty cheap. If you wanted to try them out, maybe on a lock in your house, you can give people codes, single-use access codes. So if you have a package delivery, or if you have somebody watching your dog or something like that, you can give them access codes. In real estate, there is a brokerage that has been advocating vacant homes to allow buyers to go in by themselves. I believe that that creates a liability issue. And if you're going to do that, you really should check with your insurance company to see if they might have a problem with it. If somebody goes in there unaccompanied and causes some kind of a damage to your property. But this real estate company is allowing buyers who use their app to get a code generated, and they can just use the smart lock as a single-use code. They can go in and see the home and let themselves out as well. So I caution you about that. I'm really not sold on the door locks just yet, but we'll see. There are things that you can do that are not so smart, that if you do have those smart locks in your home, you can make sure that the door is not able to be opened from the outside. If you're home and you're sleeping for the night, you can lock it from the inside, and that way people can't get in. Didn't know you had packages on the front porch. This has happened quite a bit. I know that you have your Amazon app, and it's pretty good about letting you know on your smartphone that you have packages, a package was delivered. They even send you a picture now. But if you have a handy dandy Echo Dot or a Fire Cube, I love those, even an Amazon display, where the smart display will tell you visually that you have a package. And there is a little dun dun you may be familiar with that says you have a package at the front door. And we get a lot of packages from that company, so it's that's probably not a good thing. But I like to know, I'm very paranoid. I like to know when there's a package at my front door. I don't think I live in a bad neighborhood now, but I definitely don't want the porch pirates to be invited to come and pick things up off of my porch. So I like to have that audio notification. It doesn't have to talk to you. It just goes dun, dun, and you're like, oh, that's the package that's at my front door. Let me run and get it. People are working from home now, so you might have a pile of packages at the end of your Zoom call and you didn't even know it, or if they deliver late and you didn't realize. So that's always a good audio notification. Left the Christmas tree lights on overnight. I'm extra paranoid about fire, so you definitely want to have some type of control over lights, anything that you can plug in, really. It doesn't have to be just lights. It could be the toaster oven, the toaster oven and the Christmas tree lights, a lamp, whatever that you have. You don't want to stay on all night, or you want to have better control. So for example, that toaster oven in my house has a time limit, and at no time should the toaster oven be on past 8 p.m. for one. And you can also program your smart plugs to go off, to turn off after a certain period of time. So should the toaster oven be on for more than 30 minutes, I say no. So you want that plug that the toaster oven is plugged into to automatically cut off after a certain period of time. You can program it so that happens. Make it manageable and reasonable, but if you can prevent a fire, I think it's worth the extra hassle of going back over there and turning it back on at 8:30 or whatever. And then as far as Christmas tree lights, easy to program it to turn on, turn off. You don't have to do anything, just pre-program it. You can also voice control all of these things. So if you want control, smart home technology that you can plug and play is pretty simple. So convenience, one of the things that's great for control and convenience and safety and security is if I'm sitting on the couch and I'm watching TV and I hear a loud noise, or I hear a siren or something like that, I can tell the robot, hey, robot, show me the front door. And if I'm sitting by a smart display, so a Google smart display is called a Google Hub. and an Amazon smart display is called a show. I could just say with my voice, hey, robot, show me the front door. I also have a Fire Cube from Amazon. It's literally a black cube, and it's connected to the television that's in our main family room. So if I'm sitting on the couch, I can tell the robot, show me the front door, and the image, the video from the front door will display. I can't talk through like I can on my smartphone and speak to whoever's at the front door, but I can see what's going on outside. There's also a hello doorbell, just similar to the Ring, that works on those different networks as well. So for convenience sake, you want to turn off the television. That Fire Cube is great for that. Your hands are wet. You really don't want to go looking for the remote. Very, very simple to, go in and tell the robot to turn the TV off. Or the Fire Cube also connects to my Spotify. So if I want to hear music and I just want to have an emergency dance party because my kids are acting crazy and they need to calm down before dinner or something like that, then I can tell the robot to play my playlist on Spotify. And that playlist will start and we will start dancing and all will be well with the world. We already talked many, many times about adding salami to the grocery list or, something. So there is a connected app that there are several connected apps that you can download onto your phone if you want to share your grocery list with a loved one who is in your household, or just somebody you want to buy groceries for you. But the native Alexa app, the native Amazon app will have an activity list embedded in there. And you can actually see your grocery list right there inside that same app. So you don't have to have anything different. You can share that same Amazon app with your husband, your spouse, your kids, your mom, whoever's buying the groceries can look at it and see that it's been updated with bread or milk. They can check it off as they're walking through the grocery store. And it definitely will save money, which is the next section, because you're not overbuying things when you're finally at the grocery store. Leaving the heat on all day, cost savings wise, yeah, you want to make sure that you don't do that. But the best way is with some type of smart thermostat. So the one that's behind my head in that picture there, the round one, that's the one everyone's used to, the Google Nest. And it is a smart learning thermostat. That's the one that we've been using for quite some time now and absolutely love it. I can use my voice to tell the robot to turn the heat up or the air conditioning down, or to turn it off, find out, what temperature it's set to. There are several smart ones now. This one, we just replaced our HVAC, and this one is called the Ecobee Smart Thermostat. So it works with your, it's got the Amazon robot built in, so it can work with that. It can work with Apple HomeKit, work with Google, Smart Things. If you have that system on your phone, you can connect it to Smart Things. It's pretty cool. So not really, if you have one of those old thermostats and this keeps happening where you're leaving the heat on too long or whatever, running up your heating bills, or if there's somebody in your house you argue with about the heat or the cooling, this might be a good thing to use to save you some money. All right. First things first, before we talk any more about anything, I just want to say, this is my little plug to be safe. I am very paranoid about, not necessarily people listening or things listening, because I don't really have anything proprietary to say, or, you know, I don't know, if they want to listen to me, fine. As long as they're not able to see me. But I do want to make sure that no one can hack into your systems and control your house. So the very first thing you should make sure that you have is something called two-factor authentication. Don't turn that off. A lot of these smart home devices, if not all by now, have this two-factor authentication or two-step authentication. And basically what it is you can see kind of in the illustration here, where you put in your, sorry, I need to close the door. Hang on, sorry. Kids are getting a little loud. All right, so you have your password, you're signing into your browser, maybe for the first time. You need to set up two-step or two-factor authentication, which is going to send a text message to your cell phone and verify that that browser is authorized for access for use into that particular system. So for example, if I have Google Nest, or if I have a Wise Cam, this one is a really good camera for very little money, another Wise Cam. And you can put one of those little cards inside. You don't have to pay for monthly monitoring like you have to with the Nest system. If you want to use their DVR, you have to pay. But this one, you can put a little card in there and you don't have to pay monthly. You know, you get this and you're going to plug it in and start it up. The first time you have to set up this two-factor authentication. Otherwise, you have the possibility of somebody who's maybe not even in this country to sign into the Wise system, or somebody sitting out in front of your house, worse yet, to be able to sign in on their browser and to be able to hack into your cameras that are inside your house. So nanny cams, this applies to every nanny cam, any kind of camera that, you know, is outdoor camera, indoor camera. Same thing with your smart locks or your thermostat, temperature control. You want to have 100% access to that. You want to be notified if anybody attempts to sign in. So wrap your mind about two-factor authentication for pretty much everything. I don't care if it's like logging into your Instagram account. There's even a way for you to have some type of verification so that people can't hack into that. Passwords as well. Don't leave your password on your Wi-Fi the same that it came with, the one that's like on the back of the router. Please change it and come up with a system. So the system that I like to use, if you can wrap your mind around this, is just a base password. So let's just say it's pass to you. Everybody kind of is used to hearing that. So capital P, A, S, S, the number 2, capital Y, the number 0 instead of O, and then U, exclamation point, and then add an extension. So for example, if I'm signing into Nest, then it would be pass to you Nest. Or if I'm signing into the Amazon system, pass to you Alexa. Oh, said it again. Can't stop saying the name of the robots. So think in your mind, these are just memory tricks to remind you so you can always remember, even if it's the same base, then you have a different extension for every system that you're trying to log into. And that way you can kind of keep your password safe, and then you can also have a two-factor authentication set up for all of your smart home devices. I don't want you to go out and just willy-nilly set these things up without really having better understanding, control over it, and being safe. Now, getting a little bit more into the control of it all, the picture that I put up is from my TikTok, and I did a real quick TikTok. I'm going to do more, but this one is on the Google Nest Protect, and you can see it above my head. There's a little circle around it. Let me stop sharing so you can actually see this thing. So this is the Google Nest Protect. Comes in a box, just like a regular smoke detector, but it also does carbon monoxide. In real estate, we tell people you have to have a carbon monoxide detector if you have an attached garage, or if you have a any kind of fossil fuel burning appliances. So if you have a gas stove, gas fireplace, gas-fired hot water heater, gas-fired HVAC, you're going to need to have a carbon monoxide detector. And the reason why this particular one really drew my eye, and it's really applicable when it comes to like protecting your seniors, is because you can connect it to your smartphone and you get alerts for fire events. So if you have a smoke level that's just building, you'll get an alert saying, hey, you need to pay attention. There's something going on in that house with smoke. And it also talks. So if someone's sleeping, it will talk and say, hey, there's a fire event. Carbon monoxide as well. It will talk to you and say that there's a carbon monoxide event. Your phone will get an alert saying there's a problem. It automatically checks itself for functionality and for battery. There's a backup battery even with the hardwired ones. The ones in my home are hardwired, but if your home has only battery operated smoke alarms, they do make those as well. These are more expensive than standard smoke alarms, obviously, but I think well worth it. This would be the one smart home device that you're really not going to get a whole lot of satisfaction out of, but it's going to keep you alive, probably. It's going to help you stay safer, and it will help your loved ones stay safer. So I just wanted to mention that because I thought that's really, really, really important. We like people to stay alive. So getting back to this, we talked about doors being left open or unlocked. In my household, we have an alarm.com set up through our security system. So if a door is left open too long, I have control. There's a hub where I can say, tell me if the doors are open longer than 3 minutes. Because I have small children and I don't want them wandering around. I am a little bit over the top when it comes to notifications. I don't mind getting more notifications because, like I said, I'm paranoid, but you can control how many notifications you get. So package delivery or just a toddler wandering around the front yard, that's not going to be okay. But my notification will come that says, hey, there's movement, there's motion, and there's a person detected at your front door. So the cameras that I have set up for outdoor are the Nest Outdoor. But like I said, Wise also makes outdoor cameras now. This technology is always changing so quickly. So if there's something that you're curious about, you're wondering, do they make something for that? They probably do. They just came up with this Ring stick-up battery powered security camera. I've got one here, and I don't know where I'm going to stick this one yet. Who knows? That's going to be fun trying to figure that out. Alerts, we already talked about alerts related to smoke and carbon monoxide, and plugs to shut off appliances and lights. So that would be by the way, the smart plugs that I'm talking about are the, do I have a picture of them? Yeah, right here. The Casa Wi-Fi smart plug. So I find those very easy to plug in, very easy to set up on your smartphone, easily discoverable, and you're ready to go in minutes. Okay. Devices, ease of use, voice control, smartphone control, and automation. So the Amazon Echo Dot, very inexpensive, but I think essential, especially if you have people that you want to have some control. So in my house, these kind of go in the bathroom, places where I don't really have a lot of smart devices. In the bathroom, it's easy to say, to the robot, what time is it? What's the weather going to be today as I'm getting dressed? or if I need to call somebody, or if I just want to listen to a radio show. So sometimes I say to the robot, turn on WTOP on TuneIn. TuneIn is a skill. You'll get used to these terms. Amazon has skills, basically. And it's kind of like a little app within the Amazon device. And so once you have that skill set up for WTOP, you can just tell the robot, you know, turn on WTOP on TuneIn, or whatever your radio show that you like to listen to. And, you know, it will come and play on your Echo Dot or on your Fire Cube, or if you have another type of smart speaker, you can have that set up. Voice control is wonderful in my life, because if I have something that I need to conveniently do, I can probably control it with my voice. So if I just want to listen to jazz, I can tell any device, you know, the Amazon device, to play a playlist. Smartphone control, anything that you can control with your voice, you can probably control with your smartphone using an app. Most of the time, the Amazon devices would be within the Amazon app, or you can control them with something called Smart Things. That's kind of like a hub on your phone, or a hub control on your phone. Automation is fun and fantastic. So you can have exterior lights come on automatically at dusk, or automatically turn off Christmas lights, or automatically set up a kind of a randomized pattern if you're away on vacation, so that your lights inside your house kind of come on, making it look like there's somebody home. So you can just think of it in advance, or if you don't think of it in advance, you can always get to wherever you're going, get to Florida, and oh, I forgot to turn on lights or turn off lights. If they're already plugged into smart plugs, or if they have smart light bulbs installed, then you can just go on your phone and turn things on, or set up a pattern. Energy efficiency is huge. So the Nest thermostats that we have in my house, I get an email periodically saying that you've saved this much compared to other Nest users in your area. And it will also suggest that you allow it to optimize your schedule. So you can let it, you know, try, but if you're too hot in summer or too cold in the winter, you can obviously change that a little bit. I try to let it optimize as much as possible, because it has saved us a lot of money over time. And I think you would be pleasantly surprised. Skills, I think I mentioned that when I was talking about Lennar, the builder. So, you know, if you set up skills and scenes on in your house, so that, you know, if it's bedtime and the lights go off and your soft music plays, or your white noise starts playing, and then ultimately things turn off, or if you set an alarm that's tied into your smart lights, so that your lights gradually come on in the morning, to kind of create a sunrise for you. That is definitely a cool factor that anybody can set up. These smart plugs come in so handy in a lot of these cases, because anything you can plug in, you can automate. And then there's always the bragging rights. So if you're going to work, or you are sitting at home entertaining people, and you tell the robot to do something, everybody kind of goes, ooh, ah. You know, we have a Roomba in our house. We actually have a couple. And, you know, if you have different levels of your house, you can automate the Roomba. As soon as everyone goes to bed, turn on the vacuum, and you don't really have to do all that much cleaning. I have very messy 8-year-olds in my house. So it's very convenient to tell the robot, you know, to turn on the vacuum and let that happen automatically. All I have to do is go and empty it. But they even make a Roomba now that empties itself. I haven't gotten that one yet. That one's next. So we talked about Wise. This was what I was trying to hold up to the camera earlier, the Wise system. They're fantastic, guys. They make a lot of smart home tech at very, very low prices. They make smart plugs. The ones that I have are by Casa, but these Wise smart plugs are very similar. You have smart lights. They even make a smart watch. And I tried it out and I didn't love their first version, but now they have another version. They have a smart scale. They have all kinds of things. And it seems like every 5 seconds they're coming out with something else at a very low price. So you may want to just check it out. Don't be like me and spend too much money. You know, definitely like control yourself, because I get a little out of control. The video doorbell that I like is not the Ring, but there's nothing wrong with the Ring as far as I'm concerned. Some people have questions about privacy. So if you are a privacy concerned person, there are things that you can do to make your devices a little bit more private, but in order to voice control, they're always kind of going to be passively listening. And if you go into the the Amazon app, there is a little button that's called Activity, and in Activity you can kind of see what you've been saying, and you can wipe all of that out. You can clear it out so they can't go back later and see that. Security systems, outdoor cameras, video doorbells, all of that for me and my paranoia is fantastic. You know, and you can either plug and play your own security cameras. Like for example, this Ring stick-up camera, you can plug that right in and make it start going just based on a battery. You don't even have to plug it in. Or you can hire a company. Best Buy actually has really great smart home technology specialists. And if you have the money to spend, they will sell you products for your house. But I'm here to say you can do all of that yourself. What's very close to my heart here is protecting your senior. And if you have a senior elderly person that's either living with you or living on their own, trying to maintain their independence, but they're at risk of falling, we know that falls in seniors can be devastating. And so there is a smartwatch by Apple now that will allow you to have some fall detection. Obviously, we know that there's life alert if they want to wear that thing around their neck, but they also have smartwatches. The fitness tracker that I use is by a company called Xiaomi. It's called a Mi Band. They have one. But fall detection is important. Now, since this is almost the last slide, I'm going to stop sharing real quick so you can see just a simple Echo Dot. And I apologize, my light went out, but this simple Echo Dot will allow you to set it up so that, let's say your senior person is in the bathroom and they fall in the shower or something like that. That's probably the most common place. You can program it so that they can say, hey, robot, call Joie. And my name is very specific. If my mom falls in the bathroom, she can use her Echo Dot to call me. And it will call my cell phone, and I can speak with her through that device. And if she needs help, I can be on my way immediately. You know, I can call 911 or she can if that's necessary. But I think that protecting your senior is extremely important. And then Nest Protect, we already talked about that, but set it up on your phone for a detector at your mom's house, and you'll get alerts if you need to head over to her house and see what's going on with her, you know, whatever. My mom has allowed me to put a camera inside of her living room, nowhere else, but I can see if she needs help, she's in distress, something like that. It all depends on the comfort level of the person you're caring for. If they're not okay with that and they want more privacy, then you may just convince them to wear the watch, or somehow be able to easily contact you if they lose their phone, they don't have their phone with them, something like that. So that's pretty much all I have. I think I could go on and on about smart home tech. So
I thank you. I want to live in your house because it's all already set up. I want the Roomba to come out at night. It's a lot of stuff to take in, but we definitely had questions come in if you're open to some Q&A.
absolutely.
Okay, so the first one we had was about security, which you touched on most of the three-part question, but basically it was just asking, like, is that still a thing? Sounds like it is as far as hacking goes. And then I also had this question: how do you actually check on your device's potential security issues? Like, sometimes they're a little funky, I would say.
Yeah, so you pretty much for any device, because there's so many of them, for any device, you can always just Google it and just say two-step or two-factor authentication for blank, two-factor authentication for Wise, two-step authentication for Nest, whatever. And I urge everyone, that's the first thing you should do after this call. If you don't have it already set up, go and check. But most apps, if you have the Amazon app, you can go into the security, go into the menu and find security, and make sure two-step authentication is turned on. You may want to be in front of a computer so that you can easily set things up, but a lot of them you can do from your cell phone. I used to hear more stories about people hacking into cameras and talking to kids through nanny cams and things like that, but I think almost all the technology now has some type of two-factor authentication. But between a strong password and two-factor authentication, you're pretty much not going to have to worry about somebody hacking into your device.
That alone was already really helpful for me. And your password examples were really helpful. So I'm gonna skip down. As far as the devices go, I also had this question, but you answered that you kind of use that hub app called Smart Things to kind of, I guess, consolidate all of them. Someone else said, are all of these different brands compatible with each other? You know better than I have a thought, but you go ahead.
So you can think of all of these big brands as greedy little toddlers that want the most attention. They want something special to brag about. So they're going to come out with something that works better than, my smart display works better than that one. The Google one wants to be able to tout that it can recognize faces. So as you walk into a room, you can be reminded to take out the trash, but only if your face looks like my husband in my house, because I always take out the trash, but when he's home, he doesn't remember. So you can count on them to have individual features, but and the Smart Things app can bring a lot of these things together. But some of the devices work with everything. You can automate it through even your robot on your cell phone. So there is a space heater that I have in my bathroom because I'm cold all the time. And I tell my phone, it's an Apple, so I'm not going to say her name, but well, yeah, Siri. I can tell her that I'm cold, and she knows to turn on the heater in my bathroom. So it just depends on the device, and you can peruse on either on Amazon, or if you go to Best Buy, it'll say what it works with. If it's a smart device, it will automatically say what it works with on the actual box. So you shouldn't have to select just one. But if you are the type of person that doesn't want to have to remember robots' names, yeah, pretty much go to Amazon first and see if they have the system that you want. If they don't have it, go to Google. You know, I wouldn't say first, or I'm not really recommending one over another because they're all great. That was actually one of the slides I had. They're all pretty great. But I don't mind remembering robots' names. So if I'm in the kitchen, there is a robot that I ask for just news. And then there's a robot that I ask for pretty much everything else, because I have both in there and I don't have to worry about multiple systems answering me all at the same time when I say a robot's name. I love, love, love my Fire Cube though, because the cube ties a lot of things together that just a mini device doesn't necessarily do for you. The Fire Cube is definitely something to look into if you want like an all-in-one solution.
Awesome, thank you. Someone asked about your home security system. What do you use?
I love my home security system. It used to be through a company called Monotronics, and they are now Brinks. So if you have them come to your home and set up your security, you know, they can put on the door contacts, and they can even do a MyQ garage opener, let you know when that garage door is still open. But what I absolutely love, besides being able to control like by voice, you know, to turn on and off the alarm, which you have to be careful of if your phone gets into the wrong hands or whatever. But besides that, I love the Geo Fencing. So imagine this concept. I leave the house and I get 5 miles out, and I have no idea that I didn't turn on the alarm. Am I going to turn around and go back home and turn on that flipping alarm? No, I am not going to do that. But my security system lets me know that my smartphone has left a geofence that I can set up. It can be a mile, it can be 5 miles around my home. And do I want to turn on the alarm? And I just either can say yes, or I can push a button and the alarm will be armed. So that alone is worth the cost of security. I absolutely love that feature, because I can't tell you how many times I've left the house and forgotten to turn off the alarm, and you pay monthly for it. So it's like, what's the point of having the alarm? It's not going to be on. But like I said, I'm super paranoid, so it goes on at night. And if I get up in the morning, I want to let the dog out, I can just go on my cell phone, turn off the alarm, and then run downstairs. I don't have to stop at the keypad.
See, your door doesn't open on its own. You actually have to let the dog out. Guess you could let it, yeah, I let it out the garage door.
There's a few solutions for that. You know, like I said, I'm a little paranoid about things opening and closing for me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, maybe.
Something to think about. I like this question. We have a couple more, but I like this one from Euless that will kind of wrap everything up. But before that one, someone else said that they love the Wise Scale he's a gym rat. So that was great for tracking. And then someone asked, do you need as many of the smoke alarms that you talked about as you would regular smoke alarms?
I recommend it because in a lot of states, you are required to have, you know, a certain amount of smoke alarms in certain placement. So you'll want to check with your state's requirements. In Maryland, there is an actual smoke alarm law. Has nothing to do with whether homes are being bought or sold. And in Montgomery County, Maryland, we have a carbon monoxide law. And so they just want people to be safer when it comes to their smoke alarms. So you can use your other interconnected smoke alarms as well. And maybe you just, because they're more expensive, you just want to buy one and keep it just outside the kitchen or something like that. That's certainly doable. You don't have to buy one for every single level, but you remember to close before you doze. So the fire department wants me to remind everybody, to close their door before you go to bed at night. And if that's the case, you're not going to wake up anyway just to the smell of fire. You want to be awakened by the alarm. So you're going to always make sure that that alarm works, but it's better if there's an alarm that's talking to you. So there's going to be an audible alert as well as saying fire upstairs, and you can program it to say where that fire is. So you don't have to, but I certainly recommend getting one for at least every level of your home.
Great. And then we will wrap it up with this last question. This is from Euless. So he asked, do you have any good recommendations for websites to get us up and running? So something that's kind of all inclusive that might be an information hub. And then he was asking specifically for setting up on our own NAS, which I am not familiar with what that means, or storage system at home so we don't have to use the cloud. NAS.
I actually use a MyCloud. So if you, and I'm putting this back up just so that you can get my information, because I don't really have a single web page yet that could get you up and running. But if you want to keep in touch with me on Instagram or on my website, you can find me on Instagram at Joie the Realtor, or you can scan that little QR code with your phone and follow me there. Message me, and maybe I will come up with something and add it to my website so that just, you know, a little quick plug and play smart home guide so that you can just kind of order your devices, plug them in, and get up and running the same day, because you totally can.
I love it. Yeah. The way I did it was I just ordered my first Amazon robot, and I have so much fun trying to figure it out like you do. So probably starting with that, I would think. Well, thank you so much. This was fun. I know I learned a lot. Are there any last, final words from your side that you would like to impart on the audience?
No, I would say the Fire Cube would be a great place to start if you just want all-in-one, because once you start plugging that in and you learn about what it can do for you, you pretty much know all of the capabilities. So that's kind of your all-in-one in one device, but then you build on that. And I already dropped my little side plugs on being safe as far as fire safety and carbon monoxide safety. I can't emphasize that enough. Protect the little ones, protect the seniors in your house. And if you need additional help, I'm always here to help. I'm always happy to help, especially alumni.
Awesome. Yeah, terp to terp. Well, thank you so much, Joie, and thank you to everyone who joined this evening. I'm excited to see, maybe they can tweet at you or tag you in something. We can see what they've done. But have a great night, everyone. If you would like to check out more Home 101 events, we are doing events all the way through next Monday. So just keep an eye out, and we will see you soon. Go Terps. Have a good one. Bye. Thank you.